Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing another comic book review. This is of issue 2 of the 4th Doctor 5-part miniseries. So yeah, we're on issue 2. It's got 2. The barcode is there in the TARDIS barcode thing, Titan Comics, who did the cover and stuff, who the artists and writers and stuff and letterists are and stuff like that. You've got a still shot of Tom there, Doctor Who there, new adventures with the 4th Doctor there, and then you've got Tom there, Sarah there, and these Cyclops-like creatures there. You've got a synopsis on the front about Sarah Jane Smith, the 4th Doctor, the TARDIS, and previously, if for some reason issue 2 was the first issue you picked up. What was I going to say? I quite like this panel very much, like this very big sort of widespread picture of like a big battle happening and stuff. On the back you've got this thing with superhero thingamajig. On the back, or in the inside back bit, last sort of page thing, you've got the advertisement for the 9th Doctor issue 1, which of this recording I should have done a review of that. I have actually done a review of that already. Even variant covers for issue 2 now available, other stuff, so you know, the Doctor ones, the fact that you can get them on digital devices for one reason or another. Some more variants. I really like that variant of issue 2, quite frankly. And then some more variants, I think, of next issue, or the next issue, which is issue 3. Yeah, I really like that one, that variant cover, to be fair. And then what's out this month, just generally from Titan Comics, all in all. The cliffhanger is very good, to be fair. And what was there was another panel I really liked. Can't remember whereabouts it is now. Oh, there. Very classic Doctor Who Hammer horror, you know, just having sort of the perspective of the monster, or just sort of seeing maybe its hands, or, you know, just sort of seeing the top of, like, the eye stalk of a Dalek, but not actually seeing the full Dalek until later on, or something along those lines, you know. I think that's very classic Doctor Who-esque, you know, this panel, and I love that, you know. And as well, I've probably said this before, but they've captured Tom's sort of mannerisms just perfectly. This confused me, this whole sort of gaze of thing, you know. I don't know, this sort of whole Doctor Who, the 4th Doctor Part 2 thing, because usually this sort of page is usually there, or, you know, sort of earlier on in the comic book. I was going to say graphic novel then, but here it's quite a few pages in here, and it's just a bit weird, really, because it just felt really out of place, and just hopefully they take that on board, Titan Comics, because again, it feels sort of very out of place all of a sudden. You know, you're just reading it, and then it feels like this is like saying, oh, that's the end of that part, but it's not. It's still a continuation of one issue, but they've just got this bit randomly in the middle, and it really takes you out of the immersion of reading this, and that. But, you know, obviously they have to have this information about who the writer, artist, colorist, letterist and stuff is, and that's fair enough, you know, and it's important that those people get credited. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but, you know. But yeah, the paneling, the panel slash artwork is just superb. I'll be honest though, so far part issue 1 and 2, even, of this 4th Doctor comic book, out of all of the Doctor Who ones, for me personally, this doesn't obviously mean that it'll be the same for you, because, you know, everyone's at a different reading skill, but for me, this one and part 1 as well have just been the most sort of challenging reads. But then again, you could argue, well, most people who are going to pick up a 4th Doctor comic book more than likely will be adults, and that, seen as they're the people who grew up with Tom's era and that, and so, you know, 30, 40-year-olds should really just be able to breeze through this, really, I'm assuming, if they read quite a bit. And but that's the other thing, you know, I really do like Tom's Doctor, but this has just been a bit more challenging, not to the point where it's not been fun to read, but it's been a bit more challenging than, say, the 9th, 8th, and 9, 8, 10 and 11 Doctor comic book ones that I've picked up. But yeah, I mean, other than the fact that the sort of sometimes it can be rather a bit challenging here and there to read, other than that, it's been a superb sort of 2-part or 2 issues so far. And again, the artwork is superb. The pacing of the story is really good, and I quite just love this sort of Victorian times sort of aesthetic. I mean, Tom seems to just suit the sort of Victorian Londony sort of horse and carriage mist in Londony type sort of backdrop very well. You know, I think it's contrast, you know, his scarf and his whole sort of frilly hair and his sort of bohemian, like, you know, sort of manner is a very big contrast to the sort of backdrop. The backdrop is very much, you know, upper class, very, you know, high and mighty, you know, sticks up their ass sort of, you know, you know, all about class, when he's all about just being who you are, really, and it contrasts that backdrop, I think, and I think that's why he works so well in the sort of Victorian times era. I also really like the sort of big Cyclops like guards dudes. You know, they're not the most useful of bad guys are all, but they are there, and they do stuff from time to time, and they are quite intimidating, to say the least. You know, they look like they're a threat, which is always nice and always refreshing as well, I guess, from what we get sometimes in the new series. But yeah, this has been the Doctor's Assistant 1 review of the 4th Doctor issue 2. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate and subscribe, and if you've got this comic book issue, I would love to know what you think about it in the comment section below. Goodbye.